Welcome to another episode of Inspired Content focusing on products and services. So this time I wanted to talk about paintings, and so I'm going to get some of the stuff that I wanted to demo here, and then I'll meet you on the other side of that and discuss some of the possibilities for that. Alright, see you on the other side. Okay, so for this one I started out with some things I painted when I was much younger. These have been at my mom's house, framed, and I took them out of the framing and laid them out, and just with the camera that I'm filming with right now, I put them down on the table in the kitchen, regular room lighting, and tried to get directly over it and not cast a shadow, and took a picture with the flash. And so this is the other one. And I painted these back in high school, I think. And this one you can kind of see down here at the bottom. There's a staining that happened to it somewhere. So I might see if I can go back and digitally alter the photo image that I take and see if I can edit that out. But essentially what we're talking about here is I took some photographs. My camera's a 16 megapixel camera, but I think I wasn't using much over 2 megapixels. And so I didn't really take a really high quality picture. I didn't need a high-end camera, didn't need special lighting. So I took a couple pictures of those, and I just went to my local photo developing location with a kiosk. I'm just going to say it's the store I went to starts with a W and ends with a T, and I'll leave it at that. But I took it to their photo processing station, where they can take pictures you bring in on your SD cards. You put it in the kiosk, you go and you kill it. If you want to put it on a rug or a blanket or a mug or any of those types of things. In my case, what I opted for was large prints. Like in this case, this is a large print that cost maybe $4. And you could mount this with a spray adhesive or under a matting and frame it. I especially like this one. This is on a board. This is board mounted, and it's printed directly on there. And this one cost about $10. And I definitely think this is what I will do more of in the future if I do paintings that I want to make prints of and sell at like a table at a flea market or something like that. I can see doing plenty of these for about $10 a piece. I can imagine doing about this size is $10 a piece. There's a smaller size, which I think is like a 10 by 11. That's cheaper than that, and there's a larger size that's a little more expensive. But this size is perfect for wall art that you could sell at a table at an art market or a flea market. And in that way I could do multiples, and I can always go back and print more for more flea market sales. And then the final one I got was the sailboat picture again, done on a mount, a block mount, and that turned out pretty good. This one runs a little more expensive because of the base it's on. This one runs about $13. All told, between this, and this one, I spent about $25. That's all it cost me to do that. And considering what you could probably sell some of these at an art market for, or a flea market, you could make that money back and a little extra to go a little way and keep your originals for some other time, and you can always print more. But not only did this only cost me about 25 bucks, it took only about an hour. And so, I mean, it's quick, it's fairly cheap, and it's pretty dang easy, and it doesn't require an expensive setup to start with. You can do it with stuff you've probably got around your home. You might even be able to do it with your phone, depending on what the what kind of megapixels and area you get for your phone camera. And I can always go right back with my camera and my pictures and get more made. The ease of access, the speed, the cheap cost makes this available to me, whereas I've been trying to look for a couple months in the area for printing companies that would make copies of art for me, and finding anybody who does that. I mean, you can look online and you can send your stuff away, or get a professional photographer to send digital images to a company somewhere else other than where you are, and they do runs of hundreds or something like that. And you kind of have to figure out if you're going to put, $1,000 into making prints. You have to figure out what's going to sell and what's not, so that you can decide whether or not it makes sense to make a run of that particular painting. Whereas with these, I can do one-shots. I can make one print of each of those paintings and take it to an art market, and if somebody buys that print, I can always get another one printed. And if it seems to be popular with all the people walking by, maybe next time I go I'll make 5 prints, take it, and if I sell all 5, I know I can have put the money in towards making a larger run. It makes it accessible for me to be able to do prints of some of the things I want to paint. Posters, they have some, they can put them on canvas, and it's a variety of sizes. But the ideas it brings to mind include making full-sized, small-sized, essentially custom-sized prints for different size needs and customer interests, all the way from keychains and buttons to sizes up to large wall art, or even blankets and rugs. The opportunity to do that is it's more expansive than just getting a series of prints in frames from a printmaker. It's good enough quality. I mean, I didn't use a high megapixel rate, and I didn't use super great lighting. It was just a flash on my camera, and with that I got an image that at a size this big wasn't grainy, was fairly true to color, and a little investment in effort and equipment to do it. If I tinkered a little and improved my lighting and upped the megapixels, I could probably do a really, really, really good, highly, you could probably see the brush strokes in a painting quality image, and get that printed up, put a mat on it and frame it, and you'd be hard pressed to tell that it wasn't a watercolor painting. There would be a slightly glossy surface because it is a photograph of a painting rather than the actual painting, so I mean there's that, but I think a matting and frame on something like that makes it a really good saleable piece of art. The idea of being able to do prints and then cutting those prints out in a non-square form and mounting them to something that you can hang on your wall. The possibility of being able to do circular, oval, all because you're doing it as essentially a photograph that you can cut and fit. It means the ability to do unusual and unique prints that if you were just to get a regular print made from a printmaker, I think you're going to blend into the rest of the prints that people might hang in their wall with a square print. But if somebody comes along and sees a shape that's elongated egg shape, it'll be eye-catching, and it'll be something they might consider buying for a piece of home decor, as its uniqueness sets it aside. And it's a print, so you can make more of them, and if you have to go back and do another run, it's not that complicated. Now that brings me to, which is prints used in a scrapbook. I mean, at this point, you're talking about a photograph, and I'm being able to mount a small gallery within a book and keep it on my shelf is part of the appeal, but also being able to make a gallery of images in a purchasable book that you, instead of doing a single print that somebody can buy, get them to make a book and sell it at an art market for $50-$60 with $2-$3 prints inside the book. Maybe do 10 $2 prints, and you're still able to make more of them and repeat the process over and over again. I think that's a definite possibility of something that could be worthwhile, and spread your art to other people at a price that's affordable, but allows you to keep your originals too. Okay, and I do some dimensional art with layers that I think can be lost in other techniques of trying to duplicate it. But using photography, you get a photoreal image of that stacked artwork from a specific position. And so I think the possibility of using photo prints of those works of art means the ability to make prints of non-flat artwork. And that opens up some possibilities of doing some of that stuff for me. This idea was something that occurred to me that would be kind of fun to do, is do a painting and then cut it out and then stack it as a diorama. So where you might do your original painting as a single layered painting, taking that picture and then getting 3 or 4 or 5 prints made for $2-3 a piece, and then taking the front layers and gradually cutting the closer sections out and stacking them slightly separated and pulled forward from each other and setting them inside a box. I can see that totally getting people's attention on a table at an art market. I would definitely want to pursue some of that. Well, those are some of the ideas of what to do with this going further. But like I said, it was an experiment I wanted to try to see if I could make it work, and it's exceeded my expectations of the capabilities. And it's now opened some doors for me with this, being able to go forward and do some more with some of my artwork that I thought I wouldn't be able to afford to get into doing. So hopefully this inspires you to pursue it a bit, and I'll see you for the next video.